move ahead. All right, guys. Good day, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. I've got people across the globe from, I know there's one person from Canada. There are a couple of guys from Europe. And of course, we have people from Singapore, UAE over here. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. We have our panelists over here, whom I'll introduce shortly. But thanks for taking out time. We're going to discuss about the commercial shipping, a bit about the market scenario, how it's panning out, and a bit about the course which we are going to launch today. So thanks for taking out time for joining in. If we move to the next slide, please, Gaurav. All right. Why are we doing this? Again, and especially for this particular session, honestly, since I was maybe a third mate, and when I had the first thought, if at all I have to leave sea and where I have to go, I think the one field which I have thought, and which more or less, I think 90% of the people whom I have thought they would like to go is commercial shipping. Initially, I wanted to go into commercial shipping because everyone around me who used to say commercial shipping, or I've heard stories of people, making money, probably more money than others. Then it was because when I became a mate or a master that, we received the orders, or whenever there is a call from a person from commercial side, everyone, including the people from ashore, from the superintendents to the master, everyone is on their toes. That call has to be taken, whatever time of the day or night it is. So, that has created a feeling that, that's an all-powerful position as well. So various reasons, I think, and we've also done a survey. The survey, 88.9% people said they would like to get into commercial shipping. So thousands of people want to enter here. There are hundreds of companies who are probably looking out for the relevant talent, right? For the people who have the right skills, the right attitude. And that's the problem statement. Companies are not getting the right talent. People want to go into this space, but they are unable to. So to help the fraternity, to help the industry, we are launching a course, or we are making you aware about what the commercial shipping is all about, what's the attitude required, how is the industry going through a change. And you're going to hear from the people who have been in this for a minimum of 10 years, 8 to 10 years, right? So all the people who have actually reached to a certain level, who have recruited people, who have talked to them, who have seen the various cycles of the industry, you're going to hear it directly from them. So that's the focus which Sea and Beyond has always had during their webinars, wherein we like to increase your awareness, get you information from credible sources so that you can take a well-informed decision. So this is one such session. And a couple of do's and don'ts, please. If you can move ahead, Gaurav, yes. So you can submit your questions at any point that you want. The questions can be in the chat window. We may not be able to take a very, very specific question in the session, but we'll take it after it. And we'll, of course, share the slides, the brochures of this later on as well, right? So that's from us. And if we move ahead, please. All right. It's a pleasure and honor to have our panelists over here, very esteemed panelists who have, they're giving almost 1.5 to 2 hours for this session. So that's a big time. I don't think, they're able to spare that much time in a working day. So thank you. You're taking out time from your family. To all the panelists, a quick introduction to all. Mr. Krishnan Subramaniam, he's an international vice chairman of Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers. That's the institute which is essentially the epitome of all the chartering or the commercial activities which are happening across the world. He's also the strategic advisor to Transworld Group. We've got Captain Ashok Sharma, who is the managing director for BRS Bakshi, Far East PTE. He works out of Singapore. Mr. Krishnan works out of UAE. I've got Captain Sanjeev Bhatnagar. He's the head of Navigate India and manages all their commercial operations. He sits in Mumbai. Captain Shashi is not here right now. He'll probably, hopefully join in at a later stage, but he's not here right now. But Captain Shashi is the head of all the marine related resources for Adani Group. And it's not just Ocean Sparkle. Ocean Sparkle is one company within Adani, but all the marine related recruitment, talent acquisition, all the payrolls, all the operations, Captain Shashi is managing all of that as well. We move on to the other panelists. We've got Dr. Abhay Singh Thakur, and I think he's just joined in. Yes, he's there. Welcome, sir. So it is under his kind guidance that this course has been formed, and with GMU, Gujarat Maritime University, it's a collaboration which we have done, and he'll of course speak more about why he collaborated and how does he see the industry benefiting from this course. We've got Mr. Sandeep Misra, who was working with SCI, and he was the general manager for the commercial operations. Thank you for being here, sir. And Captain Jaideep Singh, who is not in this particular session, but he will be taking the course later on, but he's not here, but he's the regional head of ops for Kargil. So in India, the head of ops for all the Kargil ships or the Kargil commercial operations, Captain Jaideep is managing. So thank you all the panelists. Thanks for your time and thanks for being here. Let me take a quick poll from everyone on what is your current rank. And we wait for it. So I've given you an introduction about our speakers, but let's hear from about the attendees. So your top 4 sailing, are you sailing at an operations level? Are you settled ashore after sailing or settled ashore and never went to sea? Let's have a few more answers coming in. The idea is for all of us to know, the attendees, what kind of audience we have. Okay. But 80% of you who have participated, it's been a minute. I'll end the poll and share results. So almost 32% of the audience has been settled ashore after sailing, 29% are top 4 sailing, and 21% who have settled ashore but never went to sea, and 18% an operations level sailing. So no particular, department or no particular field is dominating. It's more or less, 5-10% difference. Next, okay, the agenda over here, we're going to give you an overview of the commercial shipping, then how the commercial shipping is, the evolution is happening, the shipping in India, the current, I'm sorry, the current challenges, and the advice to the job seeker, and changes that are happening. We move on, Gaurav, please. Yeah, to the next slide, please. All right, let me take one more poll. And this poll is, what fascinates you most in the commercial shipping, please? honestly, there is no right or wrong reason. It's whatever you wanted. At one stage, I wanted to enter into commercial because all my friends were keen to. Okay, I'll end the poll, and 58% of us, we feel that commercial professionals have comparatively more power, followed by, of course, there's a lot of money to be made, and some there's something about it. There is some charisma about this field. So thank you for all for your response. We'll go to the next slide, and we'll have Captain Ashok come in and give us a overview of the commercial shipping, please. Over to you, Captain Ashok. You're on mute, sir.
Yeah, good evening from where I am. Good afternoon to you all in India. Good morning to anybody in Europe who's watching. It's good to be here, talking to all of you aspirants and, of course, senior personnel from the shipping industries, some of whom I know, some of whom I've heard of. And so here, I am very happy to be able to share my thoughts on today's agenda with you guys. Somehow I can't see the presentation. Yeah, okay, here it is. Why can't I see the presentation? Yeah, okay, all right, sorry. Okay, let's get to the cut to the chase. Now, we're here to discuss the opportunities available in commercial shipping, or to put it more succinctly, we're talking about the merchant. We're talking about the global merchant fleet, and we are talking about a segment of the global merchant fleet, which is generically termed commercial shipping. Or rather, participating in the commercial shipping aspect of merchant shipping. Essentially, let's be very blunt and put it in simple terms. Commercial shipping essentially is deals with the revenue earning aspect of merchant shipping. Merchant ships are an enterprise. They are a business enterprise in which revenues are generated by renting out the space on a ship in return for a remuneration which is termed freight. This is the technical aspect. Anybody who owns a ship, he wants to let the ship out to earn freight. Whether it is freight a freight is normally for a spot voyage, or time charter when you lease it out to another counterparty for long term. And this is across the entire spectrum of merchant ship types, whether it's an oil tanker or a bulk carrier, or it is a offshore supply vessel, a diving support vessel, container ship. All these shipping segments have a commercial shipping division, which is directly related to either earning revenue or supporting the revenue earning function in a shipping company. It is important to understand, not so easy. I mean, when you're a little bit distanced from the industry, but when you're up close within the industry, it is important to understand that the only revenue earning function in a shipping company is freight or time charter, right? Your income comes in either from the freight you're paid by a charterer or the time charter that you're paid by a long-term charterer. So this is the only cash flow generating activity, as long as the ship is in operation with a particular owner. Of course, once the owner sells the ship, then further revenue is generated. Further revenue is generated by the sale of the ship, or maybe sale or scrap. At the end of the commercial life of a ship is scrapped. It is scrapped and broken up, and the steel is cut up and recycled. So you have two. One is freight, and the other one is one revenue stream is freight, and the other one at the end of the life of a ship with a particular ownership entity is either the sale of the ship or scrapping of the ship. Both the scrapping also entails sale of the ship. Hence, the commercial aspect of shipping broadly entails dealing with a revenue earning activity, that is freight. So we are not going to deal. I guess the focus of this course is to deal with the revenue earning activity, and we are not going to be talking about sale and purchase or scrapping so much. So commercial shipping in a running company is going to, we are dealing with freight and time charter income. And go to the next slide, please. Yeah. Now, who are the participants in the freight market broadly? The persons who hire the ships from, okay, from the person who hires a ship from the owner of the ship is called a charterer, right? And now the sorry. Okay, so the charterer of a ship could either be the owner of the cargo, or he could have nothing to do with the for the owner of the cargo in case it's a spot voyage or one-off voyage where you're loading, say, a cargo of oil or iron ore or wheat or grain or whatever, and you're transporting it from A to B. So the person who owns the cargo and hires the ship is the charterer. Now the owner, but you could just to put it there's a slight nuance in this. The charterer can also be a person who has nothing to do with the cargo. He can be a standalone operator who charters in a ship and then just markets it out like the owner would do if he like any owner would do. But then he has chartered it from the head owner of the ship, and then he is chartering it out and playing the market like any other owner. When we do the course, when we move ahead with the course, we will make these differences more and more evident and hopefully get more clarity. Owners are the entities that hold the owners are the entities that hold the title to the ship. They own the ship. They are legally, the entire asset and the liability of the ship for the ship falls on their head. They own the title to the ship. Another very important component of the freight market participants or the commercial shipping activity participants are brokers. They're middlemen who connect the charterers and the owners together. So it is not because the shipping industry is so widely distributed geographically, different time zones and different cultures and different segments and different the different sub segments. There is a need for brokers even in this modern day and age of communications, email and mobile phones and whatnot. You still need brokers who are essentially market makers, because they are the ones who talk to the charterers on one side and the owners on the other side. You could have one broker talking to a charterer, another broker talking to the owner, but it's becoming more and more common to have the broker talking to both the charterer and the owner. And he is the one who is familiar with the requirements of both. He should be the one who's familiar with the requirements of both the owner and the charterer. And he gets them together and he's aware of a charterer's requirement. He's aware of a ship owner who would be interested in fulfilling the charterer's requirement, of course, at a cost and under certain terms and conditions. And he is the one who gets them together. A broker could be in a broking shop. Standalone specialized broking shops whose only assets are the brokers that work in them. You could also sometimes a chartering organization would call the persons who are dealing with freight on their desk. They could call them brokers as well, but then they're employed by the charterers. They're not, they don't work for standalone broking shops. And similarly, in an owner's office, you could have a broker, a person who does the chartering of the ships that are owned by the owner. He also plays the role of a broker, although his titles may differ similarly in a charterer's office as well. But it's the brokers, whether in a charterer's office or an owner's office or in a broking shop, They are the ones who form the integral focal points of the commercial shipping industry, and they are the market makers. Their actions determine the value of freight or time charter hire in a particular market. Yeah, next please. The next slide. Yeah. Okay, the main employment opportunities ashore in commercial shipping, like we just discussed with you, chartering executives and brokers. Like I told you, it could be in the charter's office or the owner's office or in a broker shop. They are market-facing personnel in owners and charter's offices. They interact with brokers. They're involved in a day-to-day chartering activities. You could also, as I mentioned you, they could be called brokers who are employed by charterers or owners. Then to support the brokers who are almost entirely focused on gaining employment for the ship, you have the operations personnel. The operations personnel are so-called they form a very important support to the chartering executives. Again, whether in a charter's office or a broker's office or an owner's office, and they are the interface essentially between the chartering executive and the ship. So because they understand the ship, they know the ship's schedule, they're familiar with the ship's operating parameters, and the broker doesn't necessarily have all this information or this exposure. So it is when a broker is fixing a ship, so to say, in the process of fixing a ship for a particular employment, then he depends a lot on these operations executives who provide him with the necessary technical and operational information that he would utilize and leverage in fixing the ship. So basically, operations executive personnel who assist with chartering executives, assist the chartering executives and owners and charters offices, as well as brokers offices, in providing information and liaising with the ship while negotiating a contract for employment. Subsequently, on a contract once the contract is finalized, the operations executives take over support functions for the execution of the voyage, and they are the ones who, again, they are the liaison between the operations offices in the owner's shop, in the owner's organization, as well as the charter's organization. And it all goes through the operations personnel in the broker shop. If as is most common, if a broker is involved. Sometimes brokers are not involved, then the operations executives in the owner's office and the charter's office, they talk to each other directly. And a very critical function, and it's a very critical function, and sometimes causes a lot of it could cause a lot of claims. It could cause monetary loss. Let's just put it simply. Claims executives work in an area. They are personnel who follow up payments that ensue on completion of the voyage, such as demurrage, deviation, insurance claims, miscellaneous costs, etc. And every charter party has limitations in the sense that they have time limitations within the time within which these claims have to be pressed. And most claims have a time limitation, and these claims executives are very focused on making sure the claims A are submitted in time. And then once they are submitted, they follow up on the negotiation of the claims and the back and forth between the owner and the charter, and making sure that the claim gets paid finally. And it's an extremely important function because the claims executives are dealing with the voyage particulars, or the voyage revenues, so to say, residual voyage revenues, several months and sometimes years after the voyage has been completed. So these three, as I said, these claims, operations, and chartering roles are a requirement in all three offices, whether it's a charterer, owner, or a broking shop. Next, please. Now, okay, there is no written rule as to what are the qualifications. Like, just because you have a BTech or like a lot of jobs will say, okay, you have a BTech in computer sciences specializing in this segment or software or whatever, you're qualified for the job. None of these jobs have any written requirement which qualifies you to be either a chartering executive or an operations person or a claims executive. with everything out at sea, experience is paramount. You have experience as a chartering executive, whether a broking owner or a chartering job, you will automatically be considered seriously for a role, for a chartering executive broker's role. Not necessarily get it, but you will be considered because of experience. At sea, experience is everything. All of you would know that sea time is everything that one keeps a very close eye on, because sea time is what determines your type of the time period to give you exams and your promotions, and the type of ship that you get employed in, and even the company. Even the oil companies are looking for how much experience does a particular seafarer have within with a particular company. So similarly, in commercial shipping, experience is extremely important, but it's a catch-22 situation. How do you get the experience if you don't get the job? So I think Gaurav has hit upon this, that at least we try to impart an experiential course, which all of us people with a certain degree of experience explain or try to share with you what is required to really what is required to maybe help you guys get a job in commercial shipping. And it is all when we, of course, like I said, when the course starts, we will obviously be able to elaborate on this further. So a chartering executive needs an analytical mind. He needs to be aware. He needs to have a 360-degree awareness, geopolitical events, geographical limitations, strikes, weather conditions, because all these impact the performance of a voyage. He needs to necessarily have an outgoing personality, because he should like talking to people. People should like talking and interacting with him. It's extremely important. Social skills in this segment are very important. A determination to succeed, because at least in a broker's shop, which I can vouch for firsthand, I've been doing this about more than 20 years. You succeed only between 5 and 10% of the time, in the sense that if you attempt 100 different distinct pieces of business, you probably succeed in only 5 or 10 of them, and that is a very good strike rate. So you have to have a determination to succeed, no matter you fail or you do badly in one negotiation. You just bounce back and you go to the next one. Perseverance is persistence. Means everything as far as chartering broker is concerned. It is everything in every job, but particularly as a chartering broker, because essentially if you don't fix, the ship doesn't get revenue. If a broker doesn't fix, his company doesn't get revenue. So determination to succeed and persistence is extremely important. Excellent negotiating skills. You have to be able to negotiate without you have to be able to negotiate and create a common middle ground between all the parties involved. So that is, and the middle ground should, one of the basic skills of a broker is that he realizes far in advance of almost everybody else in this commercial shipping role, what the middle ground is to be, where we can fix the ship, where can we actually successfully conclude this employment opportunity or a charter party. The operations executive, on the other hand, he has to have an excellent knowledge of ships. He has to have excellent knowledge of the business, the geographical area where the ship trades, or the geographical area of the charter party that is in place or being negotiated. Excellent communication skills are paramount importance, because at the end of the day, everything is done by mobiles and emails. So you have to be able to put forth your views and your opinions in a very cogent and well managed manner. You need to have an experienced knowledge of the charter party contracts. Not only the knowledge is important, the implementation of charter party clauses is extremely important as well. It's a very important aspect, because the broker, once he fixes the charter party, it's handed over to operations, and the execution of the charter party is very much an operations job. And the third aspect in a commercial shipping role is claims. The claims executives, again, need the people who deal with demurrage and deviation and all these residual claims of a voyage. Everything apart from freight is dealt with by claims. The freight is the freight, although it is a kind of a role that claims has, but in my experience, operations is more involved hands-on in freight collection. But yes, claim operations and accounts hand in hand. But claims follow up on all the other revenue or residual revenue from a voyage other than freight. It's a crucial function because, as I mentioned, that claims far outlive the duration of the voyage itself. The voyage could last on a VLCC voyage and last you 50 days. The demurrage claim might end up getting settled with a good charter, maybe 7 or 8 months down the line. And as we have very often seen, it could be a year and a half, 2 years. The biggest names take the longest time to settle claims because nobody likes to play demurrage, because at the end of the day, it's a penalty and the quantum of the demurrage has to be arrived at after a very protracted negotiation. Needs to have a very organized mind and a work ethic. The claims personnel mind has to be like a filing cabinet, and of course the files that they have to maintain have to be very organized. The documentation has to be absolutely above reproach. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. I think what we have now understood is that number one, just the word commercial in itself, people use it, but what does it actually mean? What are the various divisions within it, and how do they function? I think thank you for giving us that perspective, and in a fairly detailed manner. Thank you so much, sir. Let's take a question from the audience now, and this question is about how is the commercial shipping evolving? Where do you think are most of the commercial shipping activities happening in the world? That's the question number one. And where do you think where is it increasing the most? Where is it happening right now? And the growth, where is the growth happening? While you answer this particular question, let me quickly take a minute to also introduce Mr. Krishnan, who would now take the next part. And Mr. Krishnan, he's worked in BPCL, then he's worked in Shell, he's worked in Aurora Tankers, he's been in UAE, and not only, I mean, he has an amazing and an extensive experience in commercial shipping, but he's also been a teacher, and that's out of passion that he's, I don't know, the teaching has taught probably in at least 10 very eminent colleges across the world. And he's helped us in kind of designing the course or how it should be. So thanks, sir, for being here. And I let me end this poll. I will just discuss the results, and then I have a question for you, sir. So as per the audience, most of the activity now is happening in either Europe or Singapore, with a little less, the least in Hong Kong. And the one where, I mean, the most increase is happening as per the audience is in India, followed by Hong Kong, and then in Brazil and South Africa. So thanks to the audience. Thanks for your comments. And the question to you, Mr. Krishnan, is how do you see the evolution of commercial shipping operations? And you have a bird's eye view, a global view to it. How do you see it's evolving, sir?
Thank you, Captain Gaurav, for this opportunity here. And good afternoon, good morning, good day to all of you. Very, very pleased to see an excellent turnout here. So it shows the interest of those who want to get into commercial shipping, or those who are already there to know more about this particular exciting field. I'll start off with, it was quite interesting to see the poll results, and I would say pretty much there in terms of where the activities are happening. Traditionally, all nations who has or who had a waterfront or facing the sea, they're all maritime nations, and all of them had their own activity or still continue to have their activity in whatever levels or seriousness they're pursuing. And of course, as commercial shipping developed, we had the hubs of London, and then into the east side, into Hong Kong, and then moving into Singapore, and um, and then of course certain things moved into the US as well. Traditionally, especially when the oil boom started, you had centers which came up in Houston, for example. So shipping being global, it follows the trade. So any transportation or logistics activity follows the trade. Shipping doesn't exist by itself, and it follows the trade. So it's very important to understand whenever we study shipping, or we're looking at where shipping is going to be, or how is it going to shape, or where it is going to be focused in terms of opportunities. We have to look at the centers with respect. And over a period of time, you will see how things have developed in Singapore. And then I would say quite recently, in the last 20 years, Dubai developing as a major shipping center. I clearly remember the time when Dubai put up their vision in terms of establishing a maritime city. It was almost 20 years back, and it was in 2005 they started this process, and a couple of brokers set up shop here, and then slowly it was a slow uptake, I would say. And then one of the other important aspect to keep in mind, one is trade, one is the ship owners, where they are going to be based, where is it available, where is capital available. So therefore, one more thing which comes into the equation is finance. So maritime finance is a very specialized subject by itself, and again, you will find traditionally you had those centers in say London, in Hong Kong, in Singapore, and again now as we speak, developing in Dubai as well. So if you're looking at say opportunities as job opportunities for expats, in terms of whichever country you move to out of India or wherever you go, if you're not a resident or a national of that particular country, these are the centers in terms of commercial shipping. Whether you talk about London, Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, and Houston to some extent. Of course, you will find a lot of other maritime centers in their own right, like Greece and Norway and Cyprus, and a lot of development happening in South Africa. But all those follow certain pattern in terms of what are the national policies, what is happening on the ground with respect to major producers or major consumers, and of course it may not give as many when we look at real job opportunities. They may not be the right centers in terms of looking at the first instance. So I was also looking at the second part of the poll, which was there in terms of the views of the audience as to what they feel. And of course, Asia, the entire focus on the importance of Asia as a trading center, and therefore which commercial shipping follows the trade, and you will find that there is much more focus which is coming into the Asian region. So that'll be one of the major areas which all aspirants should keep focusing on. Along with finance, I would also mention about insurance, because that is also a major specialized area within shipping, whether you talk about Halland Missionary Insurance for the ships, or P&I with respect to cargo-related liabilities, etc. So along with finance, it is also important those who have an acumen on the finance side or the insurance side should also look at where those companies are based, where the power centers are there. That's a brief from my side, and then later on I will be glad to take questions. Thank you, Captain.
Thanks a lot, sir, for giving the overall perspective, and it's from a global perspective. I've got Mr. Sandeep Misra here. Sandeep sir has been in the commercial operations of SCI throughout his life, and he's managed that. He's recently retired from here, but he has the whole perspective of commercial operations in India. So the question to you, Sandeep sir, is how has the Indian market progressed? So are the activities increasing? Is the trade increasing? So within India, for the Indian trade, are the commercial activities increasing? Are the companies trying to set up shop in India? How is the whole Indian ecosystem, sir?
Thank you, Gaurav, Captain Gaurav, and good afternoon, everyone. And so the question which you have asked is very interesting. The shipping operations and the commercial activities in India is growing. Now, to prove that these activities or commercial activities in India are growing, I would like to share some statistics and data with you, which would help you to analyze where we stand and how we are growing. So as we all know that India has a major coastline of 7,000 kilometers, 7,500 and more kilometers. It has 12 major ports and many, many minor ports. And India today is handling cargo more than 1 billion tons. It includes the 12 major ports and the minor ports. Then also, there are, you have recently heard about the news that Government of India is planning to create 1,000 ships in India. So when you have such a volume of ships owned by India and by the Indian flag, you can imagine the kind of operations which are expected to happen, and the job opportunities would be created because of this acquisition of 1,000 ships. India today is having 13 million GRT worth of vessels owned by India, and adding to that is about 1,000 vessels which are going to come in the next decade or more. And with that, the opportunities of job and especially commercial activities are going to be increasing. And looking at this and the expansions which are happening in India, there are various companies which includes the broking houses, the operating charterers, the ship owners are also establishing offices in India. I would say that global ship owners who have a huge fleet of more than 800,000 ships under their umbrella are also opening offices in India and trying also to transfer some of the vessels from their fleet into Indian flag. So when you have a large fleet of Indian flag ships, obviously it will be commercial operations and other operations which will be involved in managing those ships and earning revenue out of it. One of the few of the offices which are being opened in India and have opened in India are owners' offices, charterers' offices, operators' offices, brokers' offices. Then we have commercial ship management companies have also set up. the commercial ship management companies are primarily looking at attracting owners who do not have a wherewithal of operating ships on a commercial basis. Then they manage these ships and the commercial operations. So this results in another more job opportunities which would be coming in. And there was a question here that is commercial activities for masters or chief engineers. I think I would answer that question that if you have the right acumen, the right aptitude, you are best fit for the commercial activities or commercial operations. It could be chartering, it could be operations, it could be insurance matters. Everywhere, any seafarer, be it a master or chief engineer, can fit and do well in that organization or in that field. So these are certain things. Then I would say that one must understand that the commercial shipping is the strategic decision-making department of an organization. Its objective, it tries to meet the objective of the management and also is responsible for the maximizing of revenue and being sensitive to the cost. Then if you're sensitive to the cost and you are maximizing revenue, then only one will start earning profits and maximizing on profits. And hence, any person who is in commercial is supposed to be a management team man who is executing management strategies and managing management's plans of an organization to earn and maximize profits and earnings. Now, India today is moving in about 240 million tons of crude oil. Around the same quantity is coal, which is imported into India. About 20 million tons of LPG, about 25 million tons of LNG, which is coming into India every year. Now, these imports can only happen if you have the organizations which have a commercial department and are ready to expand and deliver. So every organization which is importing oil, coal, and gas into India have a commercial organization which is involved in chartering, operations, claim settlement, and other functions which are related to commercial activities. So opportunities in India are only expanding, and India is today a growing economy. And with today's impetus from the government on the shipping sector and shipping industry, we would expect opportunities to flow on the commercial side in India. So I would say that this course, which you would be attending, will give you an insight into what the commercial operations are going to be all about and where all your interest suits best, whether it would be in chartering, whether it will be in operations, whether it will be settlement of insurance claims, etc. So you will get insight into all these aspects into the course in detail, and you would be able to understand how shipping operations are carried out, and operations, be it in India or globally, is the same. You cannot miss out on any of the aspects in shipping operations, which are globally same and not exclusive to any particular department or region or country. So with that, you will get a very big insight into the operations and understanding of commercial shipping and business through this course. Now, the most important I would like to share with you is that I will pose a question that, or before that, I will tell you that this industry is one of the most unique industry in the world, where operations and business happens on a large scale, running into millions and billions of dollars annually, where the customer never meets the service provider. A ship owner may not be meeting the charter for years together, yet they are doing business for millions of dollars. So this is primarily because this industry has got experience and credence quality, which is of paramount importance when we are servicing the customer. If a ship owner is able to service the customer, his experience will be good, his belief in the ship owner would be good, and he would come back, and that is called recall. He would come back to the same ship owner for doing another business. And this is what exactly every ship owner expects, that a continuous recall with the customers happen, though they do not have met any time, or they have not seen any time, nor interacted with any time. So this is very unique of this industry. Then the most unique part, now I'm telling you about this because this is all commercial matters. Captain Sharma had told you about space selling. You need to correlate with a hotel. This is another industry along with the hotel, where the customer goes to the ship owner or the ship, or to the hotel. The hotel does not come to the customer. So that's the different strategy of distribution or fixing of ships, which is specially specific to either the shipping industry or to the hotel industry, where the customer goes to the hotel and enjoys the services of that hotel. Same is the case here in shipping. Number two is space selling. The space is one of the most perishable product which is there, either it is in the hotel or be it on the ship, the cargo holds, the cargo tanks, because endeavor of the ship owner is to fill the cargo holds or cargo tanks 24/7. The ship's cargo holds cannot be left empty. That's the prime objective of any ship owner. And for that, we make sure that he does the business on time, at the perfect time, in order to keep the ship employed and the holds completely full. Because once you fill the hold is where you earn the revenue. And the number of hours or number of days the ship remains idle, you have lost the revenue forever. It's perishable. So you need to be very careful about this, that in commercial shipping, there is lot of, there was emphasis and stress that the ship should never remain idle. And that's the job of a commercial officer or a person, that the ship never remains idle. The space is never perishes. Every second there should be money coming out of the cargo holds or the cargo tanks. So coming in back to what I was saying about the Indian shipping industry, it's growing and it's expanding. Lots of global offices are shifting into India. And so the opportunities in commercial operations in India are far more and increasing and expanding. So this is the right time to be in India for shipping operations.
Thank you, sir.
Details of all the other aspects of shipping on the commercial side, I will share with you during the course and the sessions therein. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I think, I mean, you have so much of experience, and you mentioned the different commercial entities which are coming in India. I think the trading companies also, with so much of cargo volumes which they handle, they are in India and employing left, right, and center, along with others as well. And thank you so much for your insights, sir, and assuring about the increase in activity which is happening, and that's essentially what most of the people in the poll also said. More than 60% said that the next geography where the commercial activities would increase is India. Let me take this opportunity to take a poll on, and this poll is while Mr. Mishra says that there has been an increase in commercial activity, you as an attendee, I'm sure would have tried to approach for a job in commercial shipping. So how many of you have tried to approach for a job? And if you have, and this is only for those who have had, what are the major challenges, if at all, you would have faced till now? And while you answer this poll, let me quickly introduce Captain Sanjeev Bhatnagar, who is head of Navigate India and who heads the commercial operations over here. Captain Sanjeev has been a master mariner. He has sailed on vessels for about 17 odd years. He's been here in the commercial ops for the last 8.5 years. He started his journey in Gurgaon in the commercial ops space. Then he went to UK, stayed there for a while, and he's back in India. And his key role has been to expand the team in India, bring quality people, deliver services, and services which are not just related to just the back end, just the support, but also try and get a brand name to the Indians in a way that, the globe, the industry, they don't look an Indian just servicing, right? But also people who can actually take decisions at the front end of a company as well. So I have the poll answer. Let me just share it with you, and then I'll have Captain ask the question from Captain Sanjeev. So about 50% of you have approached and 50 haven't approached companies, but let's see the main challenges. So 51% of you feel that you have lack of information on company hiring. 31% of you feel you don't have the right knowledge. 12% of you, and that's something new, that one of the major challenge for you is this low salary. Okay, that's a very low percentage is what I would assume. And only 6% of you feel that the jobs are not available. So so imagine 94% of you feel that probably the jobs are available, but you're not able to get the job because of the lack of information or skills, and of course a few about the salary as well. Now, this is from you as a candidate, as a person who is applying for a job. And I'll take this opportunity to ask a question to you, Captain Sanjeev. You came here in Navigate where, Navigate was probably a little small. You've grown it. You've now employing more than 100 people in Navigate. Your office is in Mumbai, and you've grown the team multifold in the last few years. So if I may ask, what are the challenges that you have faced? We've seen the challenges which the candidates are facing. What are the challenges that you have faced? Where do you want, us to be positioned, Indians to be positioned over a period of time? Your thoughts on it, please, Captain Sanjeev. You're on mute, Sanjeev. Sorry.
Good afternoon, Gaurav. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving me the platform. First of all, I would be really thankful for bringing me here. The Captain Ashok was spot on regarding commercial shipping. different roles. I was trying. I'll speak something about it, but I think he's left nothing much to speak about it. And Mr. Sandeep sir rightly pointed out the growth in India, which is very, very encouraging, I think, for all the seafarers, all the non-seafarers who are interested in commercial shipping here. And I'm actually honored to be on this platform with such an widely experienced shipping personnel roles. Mr. Sandeep sir, Mr. Yeah. Right. Coming to the questions, what challenges we are facing? We when we look for a candidate to fit in, first of all, it will be wrong to say that we will need experienced personals, because as it was rightly pointed out, if we somebody doesn't do a commercial role, he will not get an experience. So it's always a catch-22 situation here. This platform rightly pointing out how commercial shipping knowledge is critical for getting especially the Indian personnel aspirants who are interested to make a well-informed decision which role to take on. Does he want to be a shipping operations person? Does he want to be a commercial? Is he interested in broker ops? These are very specialized roles, as rightly pointed out. The day-to-day operations, let's say, take an example of the commercial shipping operations role. The charter fixes the vessel with a certain P&L in his mind. That's he wants to earn certain freight, he wants to spend certain bunkers, and they will make eventual some profit. But with lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, sometimes we end up losing so much money. Just the lack of we can train people, yes, it's always on the job learning, but we will need to be prepared for the day-to-day operation. So these calls are coming 1 a.m. in the night, 2 a.m. in the night, and then you have to be really well prepared. It will be a self initiative. It will take a lot of self initiative to learn. There are not many courses which are aimed towards filling this gap in seafaring, non-seafaring personals, and the industry requirements and the job requirements. And eventually what happens with lack of understanding of concepts, people start getting bored, or they think they're underpaid, or they're not getting a job, and they start unfortunately running from company to company expecting some 5-10% growth, instead of doing a planned career move, and then they just start end up trying their luck. Another I would say another disadvantage of not knowing the concepts, not doing any courses, is you keep repeating the same job for years, and it gives the candidate a very false confidence, which end up the sabotaging their own growth. Now with this skill gap, we will need people with entrepreneurial mindsets who take the self initiative to learn, to do different roles. It's just like a cricket player will not fit well in a football match. You really need to develop these skills, and every day there's no some new technologies are coming, some new regulations are coming. You need to keep up to date. This I think these courses will be aimed towards giving this some knowledge to the people who join. This will be I understand you're introducing a basic course, and then you're looking to a advanced course. I really appreciate CN Beyond and GMU for developing a course which is, I think, pointed in right direction. As I would always say, the future belongs to those who are preparing it today. So with some courses, good knowledge, you can become unstoppable here. Yeah, I think that's all, Gaurav.
Thanks a lot, Sanjeev, and thanks for sharing, your perspective as well. Because why that's important is because candidates only hear from their side, and then they discuss that only. But once they hear a perspective from an employer, that makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, the thing here is if there's no upskill, you end up just following procedures, and eventually you will be sitting at the back end of an office, and then about the Indians, I would say, then you will be treated as a support system only. We don't want that. We want the Indians to all the aspirants here to grow and get more business into India. Eventually, it's all about managing a business. The more knowledgeable you are, you'll do wonders.
Correct. Right, Sanjeev. Thank you so much. So one of the things which we actually, when we were doing the research for this course, was that a lot of employers said that when we hire people, one part is skills and the other is attitude, aptitude as well. So we also had Captain Shashi Shekhar, who is the head of talent acquisition and for the marine side for Adani here. Unfortunately, he's not here, but he would have, but he'll be part of the faculty who would be teaching on the attitude, aptitude, soft skills, presentation required to approach a company A, sit in an interview B. Once you get a job, how do you progress so that it's because the first 3 to 6 months are going to be extremely tough. And so he would teach that in the course, or he's not here right now. Unfortunately, he just got called in an important meeting. But that's the perspective which he would have given. Whom we have though right now is Dr. Abhay Singh, and Dr. Abhay is an assistant professor and holds the position of director in charge for the School of Maritime Law, Policy and Administration. He's a member, board of management, and center head for the Maritime Environment Law at Gujarat Maritime University. He brings a wealth of experience spanning over a decade, encompassing both teaching and industry roles. So Captain Abhay has been instrumental in getting this course through. Captain Abhay, Dr. Abhay wanted to develop professional courses which will, enhance the fraternity. He has a more broader outlook to it. So I would like to hear from you, Dr. Abhay. When we discussed why did you choose commercial shipping as a course? What are the problem statements that you might have faced, and what kind of value can it bring to the fraternity, please? Over to you, sir.
Right. Thank you so much for the question, sir. Sir, can I share my screen? Will I be able to share my presentation if possible?
Absolutely, please.
Just small information and a brief data I have that I wanted to share with the audience that we hear today. So obviously this is not something which is specifically catering to the seafarers who are already out there. But this is for a general population, as I saw the poll initially, and we have actually a lot of people who have joined this course who are not coming from a maritime, from particularly sea background. So I saw data that there are many people who are there in the course, which are thinking that who are somewhere ashore and have never gone to sea. So it's a wonderful thing that they are thinking about the opportunity or have an outlook of going towards the maritime sector, particularly the maritime commerce sector. So as the information you can see in front of you itself. So this is something which relates to the seafarers who are out there. So many seafarers are also not aware about these particular thing, and it also catered to the general public. So here we can see that there is a substance which is outgoing in the community, which I see. So that's one of the reasons why I joined the commercial maritime area, is because I found that in general, people are not aware about the importance that the oceans and the maritime commercial sector plays in their day-to-day life. So we are suffering from an issue which is known as sea blindness. Since we are not able to see it, we think we ignore it. We don't think about it. What we do not realize is that in every day-to-day lives, or even the shirts that we are wearing, the pens we are using, everything has arrived in our hands, in our possession, only because there is a vessel there in the sea. Because in the ocean, there has been international carriage. Every single cargo, our shirts have actually seen more countries than us. I mean, not obviously the seafarers, but in general public. They would have, from the time of the raw materials from China to Singapore to Rotterdam, they've roamed a lot of sea and a lot of countries. And this entire web of logistic which has been created, just because people are not able to see it, we think or tend to think that it doesn't exist.
So that actually something that personally derived me towards this shipping industry and particularly the commercial industry. And in India, we are so much dependent upon international trade and particularly in shipping transportation that 95% of our international import and export is happening through shipping itself. 95% in volume and 70% in value. So it's not only just quantity, but also the value, the finances attached to it, associated with the the enormous amount of goods which are being shipped through through this particular field, through the engagement of multiple shipping companies, freight forwarders, classification societies, insurance sector, and personally coming from the legal background, and I tend to touch the commercial area. When I looked into the industry, when we conducted a focus group discussion, a stakeholders discussion, where we actually conducted a study of the entire nation, that how the maritime education is happening in the country and what is the existing data and what is the existing situation when we talk about job, demand, and supply. So we come to this, in Maritime University, Gujarat Maritime University, we came to this realization that we have so many universities, we have so many institutions who are giving the technical education to the people in general. We have so many courses on seafarers out, marine navigation and BSc nautical sciences and whatnot. But there are very few institutions which are actually giving the commercial knowledge and the commercial idea, and the who are actually teaching and telling about the nuances of chartering, or telling about the nuances of how the freight forwarders work, how NBOCC work. So it's very few institutions who are actually telling about the practical aspect of how the commercial in the maritime sector which happened. And we saw a breakup also. We saw the demand and supply parity as well. As you can see here, you can see that the number of the demand, global demand. So we have in front of you only the chart. So in this, the initial one, the one side you have the global demand and supply, the other side has the Indian demand and supply. So for the commercial sector, if you see here, the demand is 92, however, the supply is only 8. So that's the ratio of supply. Globally also it is less. Globally also the demand is 55% and the generation is only 45. But in India specifically, you can see here the huge amount of, the gap between the demand and supply. Simple calculation, demand and supply in India for commercial education, we are not able to satisfy. As a country, we don't have the number of courses, we don't have the number of opportunities to actually give to the seafarers or to any other person who wishes to have a play in the maritime commercial sector. And that is one of the reasons why, because of the Prime Minister Modi's vision, we were able to establish this Gujarat Maritime University. So this university was catering to this issue itself. And we are actually the reason, or we are the outcome of the Sagarmala initiative. We are an outcome of the Bharatmala initiative, that how Gati Shakti and how the expansion of maritime education, commerce and legal sector has to happen in the country. So this is just a brief that I've created. The amount of relevance particularly is there for the South Asian nations and India in the international market. So we do, as I've already talked about the reliance of India on shipping in terms of 95% of cargo coming in and going out, in value. So it's not just that. We are also one of the leading providers of seafarers. There are a huge amount of shipping fleet which is going from our country, and the seafarers are working there all across the globe. And we tend to see many cases now and again. We have seen Heroica and some more cases where we see the issue of abandonment of seafarers, and then we look into the issue of that what is the DG Shipping's role and regulations onto it, and even the seafarers themselves are not aware about their own personal rights. So those are also very crucial issues. Those are also related to the commercial issues.
Just a time check, sir.
Right. So I'll just skip. So we at Maritime University, we have also started our own dispute resolution center. So for the stakeholders who are out there, everyone. They can use the dispute resolution center, arbitration center for quicker dispute resolution, for quicker redressal. And this actually gives an additional opportunity in the maritime sector. This is a part of the growing opportunities in the maritime sector in the country. So we ourselves, although we are a university, but we are also contributing to the industry by establishing an arbitration center wherein charterer, brokers, ship owners, shipping companies all can come together in case there is any kind of contractual issues or any issues. They can pop up and they can come in and they can resolve their issues. So we already have around about 120 paneled experts, arbitrators, mediators who are there, who are having their stake in this, and any kind of issue if it pops up in the maritime sector, we have the best of the best experts, with international experts with decades of experience, who can resolve those issues, providing the expertise which is very much needed in the maritime. Now, in this particular course, which we have designed, if you can go through the course, if you just go through the course has been designed in a manner wherein it catered to the legal nuances and the commercial nuances of a maritime field. It has a overall representation of the logistic of the functionings, as how the chartering works, how the classification societies work, how the port and logistic works, and even if it catered to a specific type of charter party agreements, how the bunkering, dry cargo, dry chartering will work, how wet chartering will work. And then it moves along and it talks about the freight forwarding. It has the freight forwarding agreement, how that is formulated, how that is vetted. And then it moves along to the H&M insurance, the hull and machinery insurance, risk management part, P&I's contribution. And then, this entire course has been specifically catered and designed in a fashion that it provides a holistic approach of the commerce, of the maritime commerce, maritime contracting, and maritime legal awareness. It even goes and caters to provide that how the dumbrage, how the dumbrage calculation is being done, how the freight calculation has been done. So not just it not just provide the contractual and the legal aspect, it also caters into the ship finances, and how the freight generations and freight calculations are to be done, and how the financial settlements in the end of the day, when the voyage has completed, how that also comes into play. And then lastly, this course then enters into the nuances of technology. It talks about roles of technology in shipping, and how the introduction of new ventures, or the new sciences or new techniques in the maritime sector, how they are banging up and how they are changing the interface, how the new technology and blockchain and other things, how they are actually revolving and modifying the existing shipping structure which we have in the country. So this 18 hours course, which we have brought to you with Captain Gaurav has brought to you, and with Gujarat Maritime University, it actually provides overall nuances of all the issues, particularly pertaining to the shipping industry, that you need to know. So it's kind of a blend of everything, a mixture, a brief, and we have brought all the important fruits of maritime commerce, put them in a blender, and we're trying to give it to you at a very short duration of time. 18 hours usually, this course can be taught for a year also. It's a very long, enthusiastic venture that we are trying to do in a very short period of time. But that is our vision, that we want to give you the best understanding and best knowledge within the affordable period of time. And then if you feel that this course have actually enhanced, and definitely it will enhance your knowledge, then we can have longer courses later on coming in for you as well. So that's all from my end. Over to you, Captain Gaurav.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abhay. I think so I think that's the difference between practitioners and professors. You have statistics, you have done your research, and you lay it out in a presentation in such a succinct manner and in such a relatable manner. 9208. you said that that's the difference in the supply and demand that we have in terms of the courses. So I mean, that's an amazing statistics. And just one correction, so is that I mean, for everyone, a 36 hours course, not an 18 hours course. So that's just the only this thing. Thank you so much, sir. And meanwhile, to all the audience, I think we have Captain Shashi Shekhar also now. And Captain Shashi, you'd given a context on what you would be speaking about, and it's essentially you hired so many mariners, non-mariners into the organizations that you have worked with. And you've been a mariner yourself. You understand the mindset which we come in. And as I mentioned, that one of the key one of the key things which we are evaluated on before we get hired is our attitude aptitude, and that's where many people are not able to get through. So thoughts on you about the soft skill part of it. How is it important, and probably what are we going to do about it in the course, in the upcoming course as well. So over to you, sir, and thanks for taking out time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Captain Gaurav. Firstly, I'm glad that this aspect of a candidate that needs to be addressed, because when a company goes to hire people, when they are evaluating the candidates, the things have changed. In the employment scenario, where companies are focusing a lot more on competencies of the people. So when we are addressing these aspects like attitude and how they have to adapt to the new work environment, when there is a drastic change in people who are working on board and they're coming ashore and start working in offices. I think yes, there is a lot of adaptability which needs to be done. And you making it a part of the curriculum, I think is a very great idea. I think that is what I feel, and I feel that all the candidates should focus on this part as well, because it I think becomes sometimes a deciding factor for them when they are getting employed. Their work and how they adapt. This is something which needs to be at least addressed when they are a part of the curriculum. So to all the gentlemen
Your voice is coming a little
who have
broken.
joined this.
Your voice is coming a little broken. If you can switch off your camera and maybe then try and speak, maybe it'll be a little better. Sorry.
Yeah. So is it better now, Captain Gaurav?
Yes, at least the voice is a lot better. Please go ahead.
So yeah, I have joined through a mobile phone, so I'm sorry for that. That's the reason I think it is having some network connectivity. For all the people, I have been into in the domain of HR for almost 4 years now, and one of the key aspects which I have been handling is the talent acquisition part also. So when we are hiring people, we are evaluating people from marine background, maximum people from marine background in Adani Group. So Adani Group, like all the big companies now, all the big companies now have got a defined set of competencies which they look for when they are hiring the candidates. So normally, as marine professional, we normally relate to the certificate of competency when it comes to that, and we say that, okay, I have got a second mate license, I have got a chief mate license, I have got a master's license. No, I am entitled for this role now. But that is not the way it works out generally in the industry. When we come ashore, the things are different, a lot more performance driven, and how we adapt to the culture. That is what matters ashore. So where what we have realized that when we evaluated people from the marine industry, we evaluate people from marine as well as non-marine industry. So the marine industry people we evaluated, and in that case, we found most of them had got a very fixed mindset when they approach towards anything. So they naturally, because we work in an environment which is very strictly hierarchical, uh, and we have got a very well defined. Our job roles are very well defined when we are working on board. We are highly professional, punctual people. There's no doubt about it that we show the highest level of commitment when we are working on ships, and work in one of the toughest environments. That's for sure, and that becomes a kind of nature for us where you know uh, we become a very fixed in our very straightforward in our approach, and we have got a very fixed mindset. Okay, this is how it is supposed to be done, and this is how it should be done. That is, we are SOP driven kind of people. Uh, so when it comes to normal, when we come to a company like big company or nowadays company when we are working ashore, the companies are looking for some behavioral competencies. They have got a framework. They look for certain kind of agility, digital dexterity, adaptability of a person. To what extent he can adjust, to what extent he can stretch. Um, this basically is to match the culture when we are hiring people. I think we need to as we are when we are making a transition from a sailing job to a shore job, especially the candidate has to keep in mind that these are the aspects which the companies are now looking, because we are now in Industry 4, Industrial Revolution 4, and in this era, I think the companies are looking at the candidates a bit differently. And we are not just competing with the human beings now. We have now a new member, when it comes to, which is artificial intelligence and AI. All those things are coming into picture, and how are we smart and we are adapting to these things. All these things come into picture. So if you making it a part of the curriculum, I am glad. I think it will give us an opportunity to discuss with candidates what are the relevant competencies, what are the skills for this century, which will make them more employable when they switch ashore. That's all from my side, Captain Gaurav. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. I know you had a meeting and you took out time and quickly came in, and that's number one. And number two, of course, the inputs that you've given, and the flexibility part of it, and SOP driven. Those are the things which we hear a lot when we propose a few candidates, and from the companies, that's something which we hear. And I think it's good to because we always hear from one side of the story, right? As candidate, we'll just talk to our friends, but when we hear from the company's perspective, is from the technical side, from the business side, and also from the HR side. I think that really brings a holistic understanding for a candidate as well. So thanks for your inputs. What I'm going to do is, got a question from Vivek. Is there a brochure available? So let me just quickly take you guys through the brochure which we've had. And I think more or less everything has been discussed over here, but I'll just quickly take you through this. So Gujarat Maritime University and Sea and Beyond, we are bringing this course to you. This will be a certificate course. It will be till intermediate level, this particular course. This is for professionals with sailing experience, with freshers with basic knowledge of shipping, logistics professionals. This is where we are. That's our target audience over here. Through this course, you'll be able to understand the fundamentals, provide you the skills and knowledge. Very important thing, practical learning is where the focus is. We'll give you the necessary material to read, some references, but practical aspects is where we are going to focus on. We will have 12 sessions, 3 hours each over a Saturday and Sunday. So all the sessions are online on Saturday and Sunday. We'll share the brochure with you. Each session details have been written over here. So over 6 weeks, we are covering from the introduction to the certification, to the various stakeholders, to prefix, postfix, case studies will be there. Life cycle of a voyage are going to be covered. Dr. Abhay has already kind of given us view about what is going to be covered within the session. But one thing which I may want to focus is a day in a life of a broker or a commercial professional. That is something which will be interesting. So we will take you to one of the company's offices, wherein you can see the op center, wherein you can understand, how the operations are done. It will give you another perspective. So that's something which we are going to do. All the faculty members, you've heard from the faculty members, and except Captain Jaideep, I guess everyone else, you've heard from all of them. The chief patrons of the course, Dr. Shanta Kumar, myself, you have Dr. Abhay, Gaurav from us who will coordinate. And just to let you know that this is a 36 hours course. This particular course will be at a foundation level. What we are going to bring after this will be an advanced course. And why advanced course is because we'll only be able to give you an overview. And then whether you want to get into the prefix side or the postfix side, right? That's a decision which you need to make. So we'll have a more focused advanced course towards one of these things, because it's extremely difficult to cover both the parts in one particular course. What we'll do in that particular course is you will be called for 3 days at GMU campus. The idea of that thing will be that you will network within the people you have, you will network with the professors, but more importantly, you will have, we will request you to prepare a presentation, and we will have companies coming in. We'll have companies coming in whom you will present to your work. So, the biggest challenge for any job seeker is that they are not able to talk to the decision makers. They're not able to talk to the hiring managers. Over here, we'll give you an opportunity to present yourselves, and at least 5 companies will be there. We'll of course try at least 15. That's what I have in mind, but assurance is there from at least 5 companies who will be there to listen you. We cannot guarantee a job, but we can guarantee your presentation to these companies, whom if they like, they can probably take you for an internship or an employment, howsoever it goes. Right. This particular course is priced at 44,999, and you'll have an early bird discount till 5th of August for about 10%. And correct. So that's pretty much about the course as such. And right. Now we will take the questions. And Snigdha, okay, you've raised your hand. We'll try and keep questions. I mean, my request is for everyone to write down the question, but if someone wants to speak, 30 seconds for you to speak, max to max 30 seconds your question, and then we'll have one of the panelists answer you. So Snigdha, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the chance. My first question is how is this course different from that of the Blue MBA? And if you have completed MBA and all those things, which is the most best suitable positions to go, whether to the direct to the advanced level or to the primary levels? Because the logistics and operation is something which has been covered in supply chain management.
Okay. I'll try and answer it, and maybe or Dr. Abhay, sir, if you would like to answer it, I think that'd be great. Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. So this course is MBA. If I talk about Blue MBA, hi. Blue MBA is actually a very long course. No, will be a
22 months.
2-year course.
Yes, sir.
Spanned around 100 credits. So it's a very long duration for a period. You'll have to be there in the campus, and it'll be a regular course because in India, part-time MBA is not something which is recognized by UGC. You do have part-time MBAs, but it is not something which UGC recognizes.
Pardon me, sir. Can I just interrupt if you
Sure,
don't mind?
Sure.
Sir, if you have just done a normal MBA from IIM Visakhapatnam, where like they have given you the subjects, like we have subjects like supply chain and operations, where they teach you about logistics, and we too have a like actually I have taken operation as my capstone, so it's a 4-credit subject.
Snigdha will not take very specific
Okay.
personal questions. We'll take general
Okay.
questions, please. We'll take
Okay,
it.
sorry.
I can
No,
connect
in
you
that
offline.
case, which one is the most benefit, whether the advanced level of the GMU course, as you have mentioned, or the preliminary level that you have just
This
mentioned?
course caters to the specific element of shipping. So when you're in journal operation, you're talking about overall issues. But here we are talking about particularly shipping, chartering, how that happens, how the shipping line works, how freight forwarder works. These are the areas where you'll not find anywhere. You'll not even find any kind of book or material on this particular issues. These Captain Gaurav has brought these experts, leading experts in this area, and the value that they'll be giving you, the knowledge that it will be providing you is coming from their own work and coming from their own expansion and their own personal intellect. You'll not find these things anywhere in any book. I can assure you that 110%. And I have seen the IIM courses as well. Nothing come close to this. I can assure you, I can guarantee you that.
So if you want to enter into operations, I mean, non-commercial side of things, this is not the course for you. Let me tell you this. If you want to get into commercial side, then and only then you please enter into this course. We'll have to take the next question now. All right. Okay, I didn't understand the question from Ranjan. How does a typical ship owner organization look like? Ship owners who only owns ship and does not do any other function in-house.
Can I come in? I mean, let's
Yeah,
Ranjan,
yeah,
so
please go ahead.
So I'm reaching out to you.
15-20 seconds, please. We'll not take.
I'm reaching out to you from Norway, and we are getting into ship ownership ourselves in the coastal shipping business. I'm a more technical guy. I'm getting into ship operations and owning. I want to get into typical ownership as an ownership house, not do any other functions in-house. Is this course something that would be useful to me? Thank you.
Okay. Maybe if I can have Captain Ashok answer this, please.
Yeah, sure. Ranjan, could you just repeat your question just once again?
I want to get into ship ownership, coastal shipping, and I only want to do this particular function, not any other function. Will this course be of use to me?
What do you mean owning? I mean, you just want to be an investor, or you want to own and operate the ship?
Own and operate. Or maybe even operate, I would give away. Maybe only own. Because I understand operators are, you can find operators who do operations.
Yeah, I understand. But as an owner, you have to understand the aspect. Like I said, this is one segment of ownership that we are addressing here. And it is the revenue earning segment. So as an owner, whether you outsource this or you do it in-house, I believe this course will help you familiarize with the structure of the commercial shipping organization, which either you will outsource to someone or incorporate in your own organization.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Welcome.
All right. Thank you, Captain Ashok. Prateek Tharpal, your question on MBA, I guess that's been answered. Rahul Rai's question, and so I think his question is more on, are masters or chief officers not preferred for commercial job, or is it just a myth? An interesting question, and I think it was answered by Mr. Sandeep Misra, wherein he did mention that mariners would probably look at ops job. But again, Captain Ashok, if I may have your opinion, because you've been on the prefix side of things, how do you perceive the senior deck officers for this role?
If I were to get somebody into commercial shipping, my basic requirement would be that people understand ships first. I mean, it is you'll be surprised how many commercial people, shipping people have not even seen a ship. They've probably not been on board. They don't know port from starboard or forward from aft. But they're pretty successful. But if I have somebody with all the elements and all the attributes of a commercial shipping executive, like I said, social skills, communication skills, an analytical mind, ability to smell out business, understand markets. Well, yes, a chief officer or a master would be a huge advantage, but they have to come along with the attributes which I have just mentioned to you. Being a deck officer or an engine room officer is not skill enough to get into a commercial shipping function. Operations, yes. Even commercial operations, yes, it is an advantage having been a master or a chief officer. But to get onto the commercial negotiation side, you require some additional attributes, as I mentioned. So, and believe me, when I do, when we do wet CVs, it is interesting to see a chief officer or a master apply. But having courses, highlighting courses like your firefighting course or safety of life at sea course or an LNG operations course. LNG operations course, okay, or a liquid cargo handling simulator, interesting but from a technical operations point. Operations also could be you support the commercial operations of a ship, or you could be supporting the technical operations of a ship, the day-to-day, being, say, a super master sitting in the company's office. So, but for a commercial operations thing, my main attributes I would like are social skills, analytics, networking ability. But and having these skills, even latent skills, being somebody, if these could be developed, being a master or chief engineer could be a huge advantage. So don't think negative. One of the biggest attributes in commercial shipping is stay positive all the time, and never say die. So for me, that is one of the skills I would look for, and I would give it the highest weightage.
That's precisely the reason why we have Captain Shashi here also, because it's not that, I mean, for you to evaluate, for a candidate to evaluate whether you have those skills, you need someone from the HR side, from the soft skills side, who could help you in evaluate and then take a well-informed decision. So we're not, Dheeraj, you had a question on shipbuilding. We're not going to take that, probably not the right forum. Ishan has a few questions on how to get a job of a broker or an executive for people who are sailors. I think that's already been answered, Ishan, by Captain Ashok. What course to be done? This is one of the courses. You can do a full-time course like this one in BASE in UK, which is Capt Business School, BASE Business School, which you could also do. It's just that those are long-term courses. Certification courses, I have not seen any such short-term courses in commercial shipping. So I think your question on how to get experience, that again has been answered, wherein this forum is here to, I mean, we are here to give experience to people who are freshers, and that's been told a couple of times by 2-3 panelists as well. So without experience, companies are ready to absorb, provided you have the right attitude and the right skills. Name some companies in India and outside India which need brokers. I think we can name 100. In India, at least 50, which we know. I mean, I'm sure you can do your own research. Google is available. Otherwise, we can also, I mean, it's not very difficult to name 50 to 100 odd companies. Salary structure as compared to salary of seafarers. Mr. Krishnan, would you like to come in over here?
Well, I may not be the right person to comment on salary of seafarers. I don't have the domain knowledge there.
Okay.
But with respect to shore jobs, of course, again it varies. Depending upon the location. Again, talking about opportunities in Dubai, where increased opportunities are there. You also have to look at the risk of escalating costs here. It's no longer a sort of a cheap cost of living. It's almost same as Singapore, or even getting more in the shorter term. So I can give indicative salaries in UAE, and then probably you can collate it a bit of benchmarking within India or Singapore, and then compare it with the seafarers.
Sure, sir. Sure. I think I'll while you are here, sir, and I'll ask you another question, which was probably asked by someone from Vijay, right? And this is on the course will compete. There's no competition, honestly, with ICS. We're gonna be hopefully be approved by ICS for this course. But your views on, the course will compete with ICS. Is it going to be accredited or not? And how would the companies look at it? So, could you kindly give your views on it?
I mean, to start with, the ICS program is a holistic one, in terms of, if you you can look up the information in the main website of the ICS UK. That there are the basic compulsory papers, which starts with introduction to shipping business, legal principles, and economics. These are the compulsory papers. And then, of course, then the specializations. You need to choose 3 specializations out of the balance 12 optional subjects. So it's a holistic one, and recommended for those who already have couple of years experience in the commercial side, right? So say you get into a job, 2-3 years, you get to know how vast this field is. You get a liking for certain type of job, and then you decide to pursue the ICS. You have a much better idea, because the ICS exams are purely practical oriented, still a written exam, essay type questions, where you need that practical knowledge, that experience to do that. So you cannot really compare this with that. But one thing which I would like to mention here is that me and Captain Gaurav, we are discussing this a very preliminary stage, because some of you may be aware, including NMIS, those who have completed there, you do get exemptions in some of the ICS papers, which is approved directly from the head office. Again, the complete list is available on the UK website. There's some of the college programs, those who have done MBAs in shipping and logistics, whether it is from IMU, MEd, UPS, just to name some of them. There are exemptions which have been granted based on vetting of the course content of those particular MBA courses. So coming back to what C and Beyond is offering here, we are under discussion, a very preliminary stage, to see whether some of the advanced modules, if they are tailored to be in sync with the ICS papers, whether those who complete the advanced programs would get an exemption from the ICS papers, 1 or 2 of them, based on the subject which is being done. So as I said, the advanced program is still not launched. We are just in the basic level. So Captain Gaurav can comment more on that. So that is where we stand today. So in a nutshell, the ICS program is totally you can't really compare with this one, because it's a holistic one, and that is for somebody who you get into a job, couple of years, and then get on with that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And you rightly said that what we are trying to do is to get an exemption for the ICS examination, if for the ones who do the advanced course. It's still under progress. Prateek, your question on bombing and its effects, it's not relevant to the discussion right now, but once we finish everything, maybe we'll take that question. Let us answer addressed to the more pertinent questions right now. Asit, the question is on people living outside India, and I know there are a few people who are here and some who are not able to join because of the time zone difference. This is going to be an online course, and you can essentially attend it from anywhere. The only thing is that at the end, we will have a company visit, and the company would be in either Pune or Mumbai. So you'll have to fly down to visit the company. Honestly, that's the only thing which people from outside India may find it difficult. What we'll also do is we will also provide the recording of the sessions. We will encourage or discourage actually everyone to miss a session. We will be discouraged to miss a session, but we understand the schedule and we will provide the recordings as well. One more thing which we missed to mention is with Gujarat Maritime University coming in, there is going to be a test before you get the degree. Before you get the certification. So I mean, it's not one of those courses wherein you come in, just pay the money and get the certification. This is the course where you will be hard pressed, where you will be pushed, where examinations are going to be happening. So there is going to be serious learning happening in this course, right? And that is one of the reasons why, Gujarat Maritime University is there. They are going to ensure we are going to have a LMS. So it's not an, yeah, I bet and you'll get the certification. It's not going to be one of those courses. Only the people who pass these examination will be admitted into the advanced course. So you can't just, just think that, you'll just get into the advanced course. Once you have passed the examination, you'll be admitted into the advanced course. All right. Eric, your question I've answered. You're sailing, and here we can give you the recording. Gavi's question, I didn't get the context, so don't know if you can rewrite it. I'll probably take it again. Captain Gaurav, best question, will the course be helpful to get a job in commercial ops? Again, we are repeating, we will not guaranteeing a job, right? There's no guarantee. We will get you to a place where you could present to a prospective employer. That's where we will get you, whether the employers select you, whether they find you or there's a match happening, that's not what we guarantee. Okay, Bridge's question is, you are from ratings background, have good knowledge of operations and chartering. In spite of that, none of the companies are responding. Bridge, we don't know your case. It's very difficult to, it's a very specific question which you have asked about yourself. It's difficult for me to answer just having the information which you have given. Maybe we talk one-on-one and we can answer that. Future of voyage optimization and weather routing, we'll take it in the course, please. Joshua, looks like an interesting question. To become CEO of a shipping company, should we join chartering or join merchant navy, and after becoming captain, join shore job, and after some experience become CEO? That's a good question and a very good vision that you have. And I guess, I don't know, let me take viewpoint from Captain Ashok and Captain Shashi from both business and HR perspective. So, Captain Ashok, first from you, please. Okay, I don't see Captain Ashok here.
Yeah.
Captain Shashi?
Yeah, okay. All right. Do you want me to go or you want Shashi to go?
No, please. Sorry, I didn't see you. Please go ahead.
Okay, the CEO of a shipping company is very generic. Now, it depends on what you're looking for. You're looking at becoming the CEO of a ship owning company, you're becoming the CEO of a ship management company, a CEO of a ship broking house, or ship CEO of an operator. So, it's there are a lot of aspects, there are a lot of ways shipping companies function. A lot of CEOs, especially in the past, had nothing to do with shipping. They all came from traditional ship owning families. They were not seafarers, but say the Greeks, they're traditional ship owning families. Some of them went out to sea, some of them didn't. So it's not necessary to go out to sea to be a CEO. Very often, like if you, and especially the public limited companies with public float, like International Seaways or Scorpio, all these all these big companies, you would probably have somebody who has no exposure to shipping at all, in the sense shipping, sailing, so to say. But they have a finance background, or they have a marketing or a business background or whatever, and they become CEOs of the company. So becoming an aim to become a CEO is it's a very far off aim. I don't know if this course can address that aim, but I can tell you one thing. Again, the main job of a CEO of a ship owning company, let us just stick to that. Let's not get confused with the different avatars that there are of, say, ship owning, ship operating companies and, operators and stuff like that. Let's say a ship owner's main end game, or let's say the bottom line is to look after his bottom line, right? To make sure the ship makes money. There's no other reason for a commercial shipping entity to go into the business otherwise. So I would say the most important aspect that needs to be focused upon, if you want to run or own or be the CEO or be on the board or be on the management, senior management shipping company, is commercial shipping. It means a lot. But that does not mean that technical people don't get a say at the top level. Of course they do. Because at the end of the day, if you're a ship owner, you got to build ships, you got to buy ships. Technical inputs are extremely important. And these technical inputs have to come in at a very, very senior level. There have been there have been more than one example of where chief engineers have become CEOs of shipping companies. SCI has had a chief engineer as a CEO. India Steamship had a chief engineer as a CEO. And these are the two that come to mind immediately. So I'm not sure globally, there must be other examples as well. But yes, a favored route would be, or okay, even if it's not a route, a good grasp of commercial shipping, buying a ship, the pricing of a ship, the trading of a ship, the optimization, utilization of a ship, recognizing trading patterns. Essentially, commercial aspect of shipping is extremely important if you're aiming to get to the top in a shipping company. That's my humble opinion, of course. But like I said, there are no rules. There are no written prescriptions. Who is the kind of a guy who's going to get into commercial shipping? We have known, without naming people, we have known people who've been bouncers in discotheques. They become extremely successful brokers. No knowledge of shipping, nothing. But so there is an X factor in a commercial person. He has to be. We've known of insurance salesmen who become great brokers, very successful brokers. So just don't limit yourself when you think of commercial shipping. It's your personality which is of much more importance than your technical attributes.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. I'll take the next question from Hoshang. It comes to the exposure to the job availability. Will C and Beyond give any job assistance? So actually, the reason why we started this course was because companies are facing issues in getting the right talent, right? We are partnered to 150 plus companies, not just in India, but all around the globe, and all around the globe companies are increasing. So from the commercial side, at least 20 odd companies where we know these companies are struggling with talent acquisition, we are giving them talent. And so surely, I think that exposure for sure we can give you.
Sir, may I interrupt? Just 10 seconds. Why I put this question on top is that because other courses where I was looking at IMSP and other places where these kind of courses are available, what they do is they include 3 months of job assistance thing, and then it becomes more, acceptable for the candidates to look into it. That's why I put this question. And I think the person who called me reached out to confirm this. I also told him, asked him to tell you this, that what I told. I think, I'm not sure if she told me or not. She told you or not. But that's the thing. That's why, because these kind of courses, they should come with assistance, because the main chunk of problem which we having is how to approach LinkedIn and all, everything you can go.
Very valid question, Ashok. Very
Yeah.
valid question. And there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
The reason why we are doing this course is because we see the issue in the industry, right? It's not the professionals who are struggling, it's the companies also who are struggling, right? And we, as I said, we are partnered to more than 150 companies right now. At least 20 are in the commercial space. We are going to give you an audience of your audience to the company in the advanced course. So we're gonna not just help you, we're gonna take you to that level, right? And we cannot guarantee you a job, right? We can no one can, but at least we can take you to that stage.
That's why it's assistance. That's why I put the word assistance, not guarantee.
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anubhav Garg, you are working as a business development manager and an MBA in sales and marketing. Again, Anubhav, you are in sales and marketing. Do you want to enter into commercial? That's a question which you need to ask yourselves. If yes, as Captain Ashok had also mentioned, that those people skills are the most important skills, and that's what he's looking at when, at least for hiring a broker, right? And if you can leverage your people skills and get an understanding of commercial understanding, I believe that this course can help you, but you have to think whether you would like to get into the commercial side of things or not. And the other thing is, you may not get the same salary, may or may not, but be prepared that if you're maybe 5 years in business development manager and you are at a certain level and you think that you'll have a lateral switch with the same salary, that will not happen. And it's only for commercial work. Nisar, there is no comparison again with those. Your question is comparing an MBA to this course. MBA is you'll get a degree in this course. It's a certification course. This is, again, I'm repeating, only for commercial shipping, right? Make up your mind where you want to go. With an MBA, you can get into 100 different things, right? But if you are sure that you want to get into this particular side of things, this can support you. All right. Pushkraj Kate, it's a good question. You have been chief engineer and you want to enter into commercial shipping. Let's ask Mr. Sandeep sir, how do you view engineers into the commercial shipping? And it's not just post-fix, but also on the prefix side of things. Your thoughts, please.
Well, this is a very interesting question, and always I find that engineers have a doubt in themselves whether they can be good commercial people or not. But my personal thinking is, and my impressions about an engineer is, that engineers have a very excellent analytical skills. And while in commercial, be it chartering or commercial operations or contract executions, these analytical skills come into play. Along with that, what Captain Sharma has said, you should have excellent communication skills, and you should be confident to interact with people and try to generate whatever business you can for the organization. So if you have the acumen and the confidence to be a good orator, a good communicator, and the hunger to meet people and interact with people, then commercial is the place for you. And commercial has no boundaries. Like every technical aspects of any industry, there are boundaries, there are rules, there are regulations. Commercial has all the rules and regulation, but no boundaries. You can go to any limit, to the higher limit or to the lower limit, left or right, top or down. Is just a matter of how you perceive that, how you can execute the contract and negotiate for the best possible interest of the organization. So if you have those skills and your analysis and what I said, engineers have an analytical mind, I think you could be a better commercial person than anybody else. But it's a self-belief.
And we've also seen there are so many companies, commercial companies, wherein engineers are heading it, marine engineers are heading and working fairly successfully.
Yes.
Right, sir. Thank you so much on your inputs. Captain Ashok, in commercial shipping, can a person earn more than what captain earns on a ship?
Your first job in commercial shipping will pay you a fraction of what you get as a captain on a ship. Believe me, because because you come with zero experience. But once you prove yourself, I'm telling you from personal experience. I literally started out at 10% of the salary that I earned as a master. I was a master in a ULCC, and then I jumped ashore and became a broker. My salary was, less than 10%. But I wanted to do it. I wanted to give it a crack because not knowing where I'm going to end up. But this could very well happen to you as well. But the progression, provided you prove yourself, is very, very rapid. I mean, if you're good at the job, nothing can stop you with this, because then you become of instant value. Listen, let's say a VLCC is you're doing a voyage from US Gulf to China. I'm not saying you can do that immediately. You can't fix that ship immediately. But today a VLCC and the markets are soft. The freight from US Gulf to China is 7.5 million. So in a broking shop, if you manage to, and okay, that's at 7.5 million, or about $45,000 a day to the owner of the VLCC. If you're in a broking shop, that's about $100,000 commission for the broking shop. So then that's your value to the broking shop. That's your value to the ship owning organization. Whereas if you're working for a charter shop, and the market is at 8 million, you manage to fix a 7.25 million. So your value to the chartering organization is $750,000 for just that one fixture. And then you'll do several, hopefully, if you have the skills. So that is your value to an organization. So money is your salary will become inconsequential. If you really prove yourself in this job, it'll be your bonuses and incentives that will count. But don't go for the salary. Accept a pay cut if you're a fresher in any aspect of shipping. Whether you're a cadet when you join, or you're a newbie into commercial shipping, or it's your first job ashore, accept that pay cut, because the progression is rapid, and it's a rewarding profession, provided you show the results.
Thank you so much, sir. And thanks for giving those numbers. I can visualize most of the attendees, their eyes would have popped out, so was mine. But thanks for those stats. The course, Ishan, to answer your question, the course is going to start next week, Saturday. So 10th of August at 10 a.m. the course is going to start. There's a question from Vivek on the examination, and let me have Dr. Abhay to answer this question. And sir, the examination will be at the completion of the course, I believe, and your thoughts on that, please.
Yes, sir. So we'll have the assessment at the end, and we are thinking about MCQ based, examination, so that there is no subjectivity, and we can mark everybody on a single parameter. Because if I'm checking a subjective paper, my idea of checking may be different from somebody else's. So if we have fixed MCQs, then we can analyze everybody in a same level with fixed specific answers. So that was the thought.
Nice. Thank you so much. Ranjan, it's in the advanced course where we could get exemption from ICS. We are applying for it. We are hopeful to get it, but it's still not confirmed on the exemption from ICS modules for the people who appear in the advanced course. Agnev, your question is how to schedule the exams for sailing individuals. For sailing individuals, if you are able to attend the lectures, I'm sure you have internet, you can give the exams online as well. So all exams are going to be online. Rishabh, I'm sure your question on comparison with Lloyd's Maritime or similar courses has already been answered. I mean, you can go yourself, see the just from that course, evaluate whether that course, what kind of professors they have, what kind of, is there an online teaching, I mean, in-person teaching or just recorded sessions or just books which are available. Check the cost of the course, check if there is a certification from a renowned university, and you will get your answers. I'm just giving you points. I'm not kind of telling you one is better or the other is which one is good, but these are the 3-4 things which you could evaluate to get your answer. Divyam, networking opportunity, as I mentioned, will take you to a commercial organization, to the op center where you could network, and in the advanced course is where the real networking will happen and from where the support in terms of job is going to start. Rajesh question from Rajesh: can we switch from broking to trading and vice versa? Sandeep sir, could you answer that question, please?
Can the question be repeated, please?
Can a person transition from broking to from shipbroking, chartering to freight trading is essentially what the person is asking. Rajesh is asking.
Freight trading as in what, derivatives? Or is it in container operations? Or what trading we are talking about? Freight trading means what? Is it in futures?
Rajesh, are you there?
Is it in futures?
I don't know, sir. Rajesh, are you there?
Okay. I'll just give a small answer to that, because this is a question which is I'm not clear to answer, but what I understand is that probably he's talking about futures and options. That is derivative trading. Now, most of the ship owners and charterers today they have an in-house future and trading derivative team. So they bet on physical operations, and they look at physical operations and also bet on future derivatives. So it's a dual source of their earning or losses which they make out of their business. So if a ship owner has a derivative desk in his office and he's trading in future derivatives, by all means, a person can shift over there, learn the nuances, and continue working as a derivative operator. And that could be the case with charters also. But this is just a small aspect of the entire gamut of shipping operations. And even if you don't deal with it, the commercial shipping operations, there is no hindrance to that. So this is what I've understood freight derivative, that most of the offices, ship owners' offices and charters' offices have an in-house team. And the person who, if he's in that organization, can very well move into that organization's department and get an exposure to the derivative operations.
Understood.
But that's not commercial operations.
Correct. I think probably the question was also a little vague, but what you've answered, at least I have understood, and hopefully, I mean, the
Yeah,
person.
Gaurav, let me just interject. What I think is he's asking, okay, that's another aspect, could be wrong here, but maybe he's asking whether from a broking shop, being a broker in a broking shop, you can become a freight trader in an oil company or a trading company. Yes, you can. In fact, that's the preferred route. A lot of oil companies, Chevron, Exxon, Shell, all these guys, they've got people with a background in shipbroking, and they've taken them onto the chartering desk of the oil trading operations. So yeah, it's in fact it's a preferred route.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I mean, if that was his question.
Right. I'm not sure whether he's there, but for others, I think it would be helpful. Coming on to Alka's question again, Alka, I think whether commercial operators can transition into broking. I think that was one of the key motives that we wanted to start this course. At least I have seen people struggling who entered into ops and want to get into the other side of things, especially if it's not happening in-house within a company. They find it very, very difficult. But I'm hopeful. I mean, this course will at least provide you skills, the relevant network to get you into the transition. Captain Ashok, would you want to add on to this question from Alka?
Yeah, I require that question to be repeated, please.
Okay. From commercial operations to broking, from postfix to prefix, can a person...
Happens very often. Happens very often. Very often. Again, you need to have the attributes. I mean, commercial operations is a cost center. Chartering is a revenue earning center. So if a ship owner or any organization sees the ability or the opportunity to turn a cost center into a revenue earner, why not? It's a no-brainer, right? Happens, but you have to have the attributes. I mean, people cannot faff or charlatan their way through shipbroking and commercial. Doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani, so to say, is very, very quick. It's a very, very fast process in chartering. It happens like that very quickly. So, but if you have the attributes, yes, sure, absolutely can.
All right, sir. I think we're coming to the questions on the advanced course now. Advanced course, again, the idea is to have it for a similar duration, 36 hours, 6 weeks. Again, the key points over there would be you will be taken to the campus, and you would also be, you'll get a chance to present your case to a few companies. The expected duration, as I said, 6 weeks. We could actually change it. We could shorten it as well. It depends, because we then have a cohort who will transition to the advanced course. So that could also be changed. The expected fees could probably be in the same ballpark as well, but I can't commit to it, but expectedly in the same ballpark, which is for this particular course. Yep. So I think that answers question from Agnev and Divyam, I hope. The Danish, I'll take Sunil's. Okay, Sunil, your question is ship operator companies. There are enough and more, Bainbridge, Navigate, Seapole, enough and more such companies which are there, Sunil, in India, at least that come to my mind, but there will be many more as well. Danish, your question is, okay. Again, just for all the mariners, I'm repeating it. To get into commercial ops, and especially on the prefix side of things, there is no right or wrong time. It doesn't matter if you are a third officer or a master mariner. From the Ops side, probably yes, a little bit of ops does help. A little bit of cargo ops does help, but on the prefix side, in my view, it doesn't make sense. You can't compare an MBA to this course. This is if you want to enter into commercial shipping. MBA could open other world of opportunities. MBA is not a prerequisite to enter into commercial shipping. As Captain Ashok said, you could be anyone and everyone. A bouncer, he said, is a broker, right? So this is only for the commercial shipping, guys. Okay, Bhavya, I cannot promise whether you will, because we can't take one person to a commercial, to the op center, right? But if there is, for example, 20 people who have done the course, 10 were able to visit, we can maybe arrange 2 separate visits, but individual visit will not be possible, Bhavya. That's your question on the company visit. Okay, Agne, in case a candidate gets selected, it depends where you get selected in the postfix, prefix. Again, very flat hierarchy in both the sides. And this is a good question, especially from the guys in Merchant Navy. In Merchant Navy, we follow a hierarchy. Cadet to master, 5 levels, and after certain time you get progression. There is no hierarchy, or mostly no hierarchy. You are broker, you stay a broker. I mean, senior broker, you of course manage a company, you have more responsibilities. Similarly, on the ops side, you would again become a manager, but it's flat hierarchy. And I'll probably let Captain Ashok, tell more upon this. And I think we'll probably, that's the last question which we would have taken, and then we'll end this particular Q&A session. Captain Ashok, over to you.
Yeah. Please repeat the question. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Hierarchy on the commercial ops side.
Okay. See, the boss of the CEO or the managing director, the top man of the organization is always where the hierarchy of the commercial organization. That's the tip of the hierarchy. And then you'd probably have a chief commercial officer, whatever you call him, a vice president or whatever, who oversees the commercial shipping function. That could be divided into chartering and operations. You could have a chief commercial officer. You could have a chief operations officer, under whom the operations comes in. I mean, it depends on the size of the company. And then you would probably have a chartering manager, or maybe several chartering managers, again, depending on the size of your size of the company. Then you have operations managers, superintendents, and then maybe assistants. So that is the basic hierarchy. It starts from the right at the top and goes down to the chartering broker level.
Right, sir.
Sir, may I interrupt, please? I ask this question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sir, actually what I wanted to know, if and when I get employed by any employer, at that time I will be a newbie on that point. So I wanted to know how we learn on that. It is a on-job learning. So how we are going to learn on that? We are directly going to get into a position, or we will be going as an assistant to somebody, and he will make us through the hierarchy.
Let's be more specific about this. What do you? I mean, it's a very vague question. Sorry to say, but you have to be more specific. Give me a situation, a scenario.
Suppose, sir, I did the course, and on this presentation day, I got selected by a company, and they selected me in commercial part of their office. Now I go there. What rank they are going to give me? That means, how do I learn from that? Because I will learn a theoretical basis. I will learn something from the course, but some experience from my sailing. That is okay, but there will be more to it. So how will I get to know all those things on job, and who will be assisting me henceforth? That is my question actually.
I think one of the first things I said, there are no prescriptions for a commercial shipping job. So even the scenario that you're describing, there is no prescription. Now it depends on what your background is. Where have you come from? Are you a shipping man, or have come from, say, the insurance industry or the consumer sales industry or whatever? So it all depends on what you need to be exposed to. So I guess when you get into the organization, right, it would be, again, this is hypothetical. It's no prescriptions. There's no roadmap for it. But I'm trying to imagine a scenario for you and with a probable outcome. Maybe let's say, what's your background?
So I'm currently selling a second engine.
Second engine. Okay, fine. So basically, what if you do get selected in a commercial in a commercial role, they will probably familiarize you and put you at the bottom level of all three, one by one, maybe chartering, operations, claims. I think they will if it was up to me, I would, if you'd come into, say, my organization, say I'm a broking shop, so then I would have exposed you to claims, I'd have exposed you to probably claims first, operations second, and chartering last, and seeing wherever you fit in, and that's what we'd probably decide your progression will be, your vertical progression. So again, it depends on how you turn out. Just because you passed an advanced course, that doesn't mean you're suitable for chartering. You might be more suitable for claims. You might be more suitable for operations.
But how much would you be offering in that case?
Again, no prescription. Don't worry about the salary. It's a wrong question to ask because we don't know. It's all hypothetical. But I told you, once you get into the job, you prove yourself, you won't even be talking salary.
That's true, sir. But actually, to be honest, I'm in a situation where I have actually entered in this field. That's
Okay.
why I'm looking into this course. But the thing is, I've been offered a salary which is lower than I currently am bagging.
What are you doing currently?
PMS. I'm
Sorry?
working PMS, planned maintenance schedule.
What is it? An owner's organization, technical manager? What is this?
It's just data entry for a shipping company that
Ship
has
owner, technical manager, what is it?
planned schedule maintenance. Basically,
Correct. But what kind of company is it?
it's a software company. So
And now
basically,
you've
our
been
client,
offered you've been offered a commercial shipping job.
it's not exactly a commercial shipping job. It's an agency which deals with chartering and also shipbroking. There's also your PNI is also involved in it. But the thing is, the initial phase where they offered me is a salary that is lower than this thing.
No,
Even
what
though
role have you been offered?
as of now, it is just into data, managing the data. Like you said, claims, into claims, the starting initial phase of the hierarchy
Yeah, but
for
is
a
it
fresher.
data or is it claims? Actually, claims handling or just data entry? What is this?
Just data.
And they're giving you, then you bet. Well, okay. I don't know how really that's a path I don't know. I cannot even imagine or predict because it's not really a data entry job is not commercial shipping.
Since it's for a shipping company, just the data part for a shipping company as a start.
No, I don't, but that is still not in the commercial shipping realm. That's not what we are discussing. That's not what our target audience is for the course. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gaurav.
I mean, have you sailed as well earlier?
No, I haven't. I don't have any sailing experience, but yes, I do have experience when it comes to shipbuilding and also, yeah, plant maintenance.
No, this is plant maintenance is the technical aspect. That's the technical management. That's the technical manager's domain.
Correct.
And this is not a commercial shipping. I mean, in the sense that a data entry, you don't compare what you will get in a data entry job as what you would get in a commercial shipping. The apples and oranges.
Okay, but yeah, and after doing the course, will it like have a significant impact for me within the same company as we do have exposure uh, to everything, to be honest.
Okay, what's your full name?
My full name is Alison D'Souza.
Okay, Alison, okay, what I would like you to liken this course is to a mining operation. All right, the product is there. It's in a mine. And this course is helping mine that product. Let's say it's a gold mine, or it's a diamond mine, or it's a copper mine. Or let's say we are looking for that ore, which can be converted to the finished product, like maybe finish copper and turn it into a wire or whatever, or maybe get a gold nugget, which can be purified into gold. This is a mining operation where we are looking for people with the ability to excel in commercial shipping. Believe me, the products are, you either can or you can't. Right? And but if you believe in yourself, you can, then this course is giving you a chance to get the answer to that. Whether you think you can or not, whether we think you can or not.
Yes, actually, that is the case. The reason I picked up this job, even though it pays less, I do have a strong feeling that in the future, it's really going to help me out a lot.
Okay,
So
then you be patient, go through the process, go through the course. We'll see how you shape up in the course. If you think it's something you really like, go through the advanced course, see how you shape up there. And then once if we see that then you're interested in getting a job, you have a certain degree of background, and then we try to, I think Gaurav could probably try to give you some employment assistance and see how it pans out. Because I'm telling you, the commercial shipping industry is a highly intelligent industry. They will recognize the right candidate, and they won't let him go. But unfortunately, there are 10 right candidates for every one job, maybe even 25 or 50 right candidates for any one job. So it's a question of your appeal to the employing organization, question of your ability, it's a luck factor, everything. But yes, this is, at least it's giving you a platform to put your hand up and say, I want to give it a try. But the finished product is there. I'm telling you that. It's not a 36-hour course cannot create someone. A 36-hour course can award a degree of recognition. And then the advanced course can probably re-emphasize that recognition. Gaurav, I hope you and we are on the same page here.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. That's correct. Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry that I interrupted like that.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's what this question answer session is for. It's fine.
Thank you so much for clearing my doubts.
Right, sir. Thank you so much to all the panelists, Captain Ashok, Sandeep sir, Dr. Abhay, for your time. Been almost 2.5 years. Wow, I mean 2.5 hours in this session. Let me take one question from the audience. Are you interested in this commercial shipping course? The answer to this is yes. You need some more info. You're not sure. To the people who are interested, please try and register by Monday, because that's the time when you could get some discounts as well. Afterwards, the discount may not come through. And and I'm just reiterating it. There's no guarantee of a job. We will try and position yourselves in the advanced course to various companies, but there is no guarantee. Right, let's have a few more people answering this poll, please. We've got 70% answers till now. Can I have a few more answers on the poll? All right, I'm gonna end. Okay, a few more coming in. All right. We'll end the poll, and I see almost 60% who are an emphatic yes, and about 26% of you who need some more info. And thanks for your feedback on this. And let's take one final question on the feedback. Were your expectations met? Was the session useful, and how would you rate the session? Sunil, commercial shipping competitive like hell, yes. You have $100,000 in one deal coming through. It has to be competitive. Okay, I know, Pratik, you've asked this question the 5th time. And I'm not sure whether we have the right platform, but I know I've had a word with Captain Ashok, and he did mention the disruptions which happen in the worldwide disruptions. They affect the trade and hence the commercial part of it. So maybe and I'll just Pratik, your question, I'll generalize the question. How do sir, the disruptions which happen worldwide, how do they affect the commercial shipping? And do we have to keep an eye on them? So the research part of it, can I have your opinion on that, please?
Who's that for?
That's from Pratik. Pratik's question is on the
That for
bombing on
me?
Israel embassy.
Is that for me?
That's for you, sir. That's for you, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Shipping thrives on disruption.
Right.
You see what the Houthis have done. I mean, they've shut down the Red Sea effectively for maybe 70-80% of the traffic that went through. So in what could have been a very bad year for shipping, it's actually become a pretty good year. Container shipping was dying because of the over ordering, but because of the Red Sea shutdown by the Houthis, container shipping is making good money yet again against all odds. VLCCs are making good money because they just don't go through the Red Sea anymore. Hardly any tankers, only sanctioned tankers and some, maybe 10% or 15% of the volume that used to go through the Red Sea do. If the Straits of Hormuz shuts down, you'll see the rates going sky high even further. So yes, if the Suez Canal shuts down, the Suez Canal did shut down, right? When Evergreen ran aground and you saw what happened. So shipping thrives on disruption, unfortunately, but it thrives on disruption. So it's very, very important to keep an eye on this, be able to prognosticate, to be able to anticipate what a certain disruption can do to shipping. I mean, one of the most, it is not given enough credit, but one of the biggest disruptions to take place in recent times, especially in the oil tanker industry, is US becoming the largest supplier of crude oil in the world. So that's huge. I mean, that's given such an impetus as far as ton-mile demand is concerned. This is something that we probably take up later during the course. So it is actually keeping the industry afloat. So, the Black Sea, a lot of ships just don't go into the Black Sea. That's a disruption. So yes, geopolitical disruptions are huge. And if this Iran-Iraq war takes place, it's happened before. I mean, the Persian Gulf was shut down when Iran and Iraq went to war during Desert Storm. Also, it was shut down. So yes, these are all have major potential disruption. Every disruption pushes up the freight rate. One of the most peculiar disruptions in recent time, which was related to the weather, has been the Panama Canal, where during the El Nino, when there was deficient rainfall, they reduced the draft in the Panama Canal and they reduced the transits. So I think the transits went down by almost 40-45%. So then the freight rates for VLGCs and container ships and basically VLGCs and clean ships were at the most. VLGCs that are liquid LPG carriers and LNG carriers. Their freights went through the roof. The main reason was because of El Nino. There was a lack of rainfall. That was also a disruption. So any disruption helps shipping. Unfortunate, but true.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Just one final question from Sunil, and this is for you, Sandeep sir. If you could tell more about sales and purchase broking and how easy, difficult is it as compared to the chartering, the cargo broking as such? And is the remuneration level the same, Sandeep sir?
The sale and purchase of a ship, is that what you are talking, no?
Correct. Comparing it to the cargo broking on the cargo and the vessel.
So when you're doing a sale and purchase of a ship, it's a different segment of business altogether of a shipping organization, and that too, especially for companies who are either interested in buying, ship owners who are interested in buying ships, or organizations who are entering into shipping business. So this is at the top management level. There is a technical people and commercial finance people who are involved in the S&P process, where the technical team, they discuss and research about the kind of vessel the management wants to buy. And the finance team looks at the finance part of it, that how much what is the market and how much can we buy this ship for? If the ship is technically suitable for operations and it suits the market demand and requirements currently. So it's not, it is a commercial operations, but it is not a routine commercial operations. Then you order the ship to the shipyard for new shipbuilding, or you go for second-hand ships in the market to purchase the ships. That's where some part of the commercial contract comes in. The contract and the commercial value and how to negotiate with the present ship owner to buying the ship. That is one side of it. And then when you're selling it, again, you're entering into the market, advertising it that you are wanting to sell the ship either for further trading or for scrapping of the ship. And then there are organizations who are agents who come forward, or they are right buyers of the ship. And if they find the vessel suitable, they will buy. Again, there is a contract. But these are activities which are like at the start of a business, or ship purchase, or when the ship has reached its end of the life cycle for that company, or they want to scrap it, so they scrap it. But somewhere it's a top management function. I mean, decisions taken at the top management. It's nothing to do with middle management or semi-senior management levels to involve in the commercial. At the most, they can convey that the ship is not performing well, and to the management, and this should be sold or it should be scrapped. Or there is a demand for certain segment of the business, say for LPG tankers. The market is in demand for VLGCs, so we should go ahead and buy VLGCs or place orders in the shipyard for new building shipyard vessels. So these are recommendations only, or suggestions which can be given to the management for further decisions of implementing them whichever way they want. But I won't say that it's a restrictive commercial operations. What personally, my suggestion is to look at shipping operations in particular, be it chartering, be it operations, anything revolving around operations and chartering. It could be insurance claims also. It could be maritime operations, maritime law. All that will form the gamut of entire shipping operations. So that's where one should begin. And this is a very restricted field, and it's not a good idea to start looking at entering into the sale and purchase, because then one does not really know the shipping operations.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. And close to 3 hours, and we've got almost 40 participants. I think one of my longest ever webinar. Thanks to the panelists, Captain Ashok, Sandeep sir, Dr. Abhay, kept all of us engaged. Fuzel, I'm sorry, your question on autonomous is not the right platform to take this question. We'll have to end this session, but not before thanking all of you, all the participants, to be here over a weekend and sustain with us for these 3 hours. Thank you all of you for your time as well. And I leave, and I'll request Dr. Abhay to make the concluding mark, the concluding comments before we, close the session. So over to you, Dr. Abhay.
So thank you so much. I thank all the honorable panelists for agreeing and for coming and giving such an enlightening, knowledge of this very crucial and this very niche area. So thank you so much to all the panelists. Thank you so much, sirs. And thank you, Captain Gaurav, for actually initiating this, having this course, and thinking about having such a fantastic, amazing course, looking into all different nuances of commercial shipping. So thank you so much, and I'm sure with participation, this particular course will actually be able to make huge changes in those who opt to do and go ahead with this. So thank you so much. That's all from my end.
Right. Pleasure, sir. Thank you, everyone. We'll now close the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.